Got a couple of things coming from Disney, chat, specifically Lucasfilm. This is interesting. This broke not too long ago, chat. This broke about a couple hours ago. And this is from Variety. Indiana Jones TV series eyed for Disney Plus exclusive. Ooh. The House of Mouse and Lucasfilm has specifically been bringing up the possibility of a streaming show set in the world of the globe-trotting archaeologist and general meetings with writers of late, sources say. They're still looking for a writer to take on the project, thus no plot details are available. Given that, it is unknown if a series would serve as a prequel to or spin-off of the film franchise, or would tie into the upcoming 5th Indiana Jones film, similar to how Disney has tied its Marvel shows and Disney Plus into the MCU. The move to potentially develop an Indiana Jones show comes as Harrison Ford stated he is done playing the character after the 5th film, which is due out in 2023. In addition, sources say Disney is currently exploring a number of options to keep the franchise going, which could mean a series, new films, other media, or a combination thereof. Reps for Lucasfilm declined to comment. Should series move forward, it would not be the first show about Indiana Jones to make it to air. People might have forgotten about this. The Young Indiana Jones Chronicles aired for 2 seasons on ABC from 1992 to 1993, with 4 made-for-TV specials airing on the Family Channel, now Freeform, between 1994 and 1996. Ford made a cameo appearance in one episode, I remember that. Played the saxophone chap, but the show focused primarily on the early years of the character, with Sean Patrick Flannery and Corey Carrier playing him at different times in his life. George Hall played an elderly Jones, bookending each episode. You know, I've kind of talked about my opinion on the Indiana Jones franchise multiple times on this platform and other platforms. Chat. I love the original trilogy. Raiders of the Lost Ark is one of my favorite films of all time. I think it's great. I love Temple of Doom as well. It's flawed. It's kind of racist. But I still like and appreciate it despite those things. There's some good things in that movie. And Last Crusade, I think, is excellent. Excellent third film. I think you can make an argument that it's as good as Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's just a really, really good movie, like a lot of people in 2008, even before, but even after Indiana Jones, I watched the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. I love that. I thought that was so fun. Watching that show, I owned a number of the films and episodes on VHS, so I always really, really liked it. But then, obviously, there was a vacuum of Indiana Jones content. Yeah, we had certain things to fill the void, like, the Brendan Fraser Mummy movies and the Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider films, But we were all yearning for another Indiana Jones movie, and like when Steven Spielberg announced, and George Lucas announced they were going to do the 4th one, we were all like really, really excited about it. Of course, Crystal Skull. I think we all were, and anyone said that they weren't, they're lying. And the movie came out, and it was awful. It was a piece of shit. And that also just started to put things in perspective with me in regards to Steven Spielberg as a filmmaker. Like I don't think he's capable of making the same genre films as he did in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. I don't think he's that guy anymore. And so when they announced the 5th film that they were doing, and I was like, I don't know about this. We'll see. But I feel like they made a great choice of not having Steven Spielberg direct it, because I just don't feel like he's capable of doing that anymore. He doesn't have the sensibilities. He suffers from the same thing that Ridley Scott suffers from, that George Lucas suffers from. You name it, any director who they don't understand the aesthetics of what made the character popular to begin with anymore. They've lost a step. But they hired James Mangold. No, I'm not excited for that movie. I feel like he's a much better director than Steven Spielberg is currently right now. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they'll do with that movie. Now, listen. I've talked about, like, for years, they're not gonna stop making Indiana Jones movies or whatever. They're gonna continue this on. They're gonna probably bring in a new actor to play. They're obviously gonna bring in a new actor to play Indiana Jones. It'd be very weird for me if they set a series in, like, the Indiana Jones universe, but it's not focused on Indiana Jones. Like, what would that even be? Like, I just, people would be like, why am I watching an Indiana Jones series which doesn't have Indiana Jones in it? That doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. It's like, why? It's just recast. I've said I'm not one of those people that's like Harrison Ford's Indiana Jones. He's like, yeah, he is. But I've said for years that they should treat it like James Bond. You should bring in whoever actor and do several films, because there's so much material you could potentially do. So many other adventures, chat. And so the fact they want to turn a Disney Plus series, I'm not sure about that. Because when I think of a Disney Plus series, I think of what Lucasfilm's Disney Plus series have been. We've had successes, I feel like, with The Mandalorian, and or most recently, I thought those are both really good. But then, Obi-Wan Kenobi and the Book of Boba Fett were incredibly disappointing. They're very hit and miss. And I know that they're going to be using the volume, and I'm not a big fan of the volume and how that looks, and like who's going to be in charge of it. There's just so many unknowns right now. I would prefer if they just did films, honestly. I have no problem with like continuing this on post-Harris. He'll complain about it. I'm like, sure, of course he's going to complain about it. But like, I would like to get another actor in there going more in these adventures, Chad, here to the aesthetics of those first 3 movies, why they work so well, and go forward like that. Treating Indiana Jones like James Bond, bring in a new actor every several years, however many years, after however many films, 3-4 movies, have a new guy be Indiana Jones and continue. That's what I feel like that's what they should do. But this Disney Plus thing, it's like I'm glad they're thinking of the future, but I don't think a Disney Plus series is the way to go. I would just make movies. I want them to be cinematic. I want them with big budgets, Unless you get Tony Gilroy to do it, unless you do it something like Andor, then maybe I'd be a little more curious about that. I'd be like, okay, let's see. Where you make it really realistic and you make it like mature and for adults, and you have competent storytelling and acting in it, then sure. But Andor, I feel like is going to be kind of an enigma in the Lucasfilm Disney Plus shows. But we'll see. I prefer movies, not so much a show. But you guys.